going? So, bit of a slightly different setup compared to episode 1 and episode 2. And that is because instead of me just sitting at my table trying to explain to you guys and not show you, it would also be a burden on editing the video. I've decided to do it this way where I've got myself on webcam and my desktop in the background. That's because I want to share with you the latest update on 2.7. So we do have some good news, and unfortunately that also comes with some bad news. So first off, the good news, the set size. The original set size, for all the previous sets we were 50, and then in episode 2 we said that there was going to be an increase up to 100 cards, because I already have the artwork, so it's saved me 50% of the effort. Therefore, that has allowed me to put an additional 50 cards into the set. So the good news is there's going to be more than 100 cards. There's actually going to be 150 cards in this next upcoming set. So it's going to take me a little bit of extra time, but that should come with a greater selection of cards and some more older artwork coming forward, which may spark some memories from my old game. As well as that, I want to show you guys some artwork and some cards that I have already designed. But before we get into that, I want to share the bad news. Now, the bad news is I've gone through all the pieces of artwork which I wanted to keep, and unless I ended up making the set 200 pieces, which I think would just be a bit too much, I have had to remove some ideas from my previous video in episode 2. That more so being, I've kind of had to whittle it down a little bit. So the first thing is, you may have mentioned that with the gemstones in that episode 2 topic, I said there was going to be some flora. Unfortunately, the flora is not going to make an appearance in this update. There were only going to be common cards, but unfortunately, I've just not got the capacity to add the flora. The gemstones are also going to be downgraded from rare to either common or uncommon, because you will see shortly why when I put my desktop on this video. Also, the dragons, again, due to capacity, we're going to be dropping the dragons out of this set, the dragons and some of the wyverns, and that is, again, it's just mostly down to capacity. I've got so much artwork which I wanted to bring into the next upcoming set, and unfortunately I've just not got the space for it. So that can only mean, however, that they will be coming in a future filler set, or if Dragons has its own archetype in an upcoming set, then that's probably where they're going to come through. As for God Summons, at the moment I am still on the fence with them. They could be arriving, they might not be arriving. It just depends how I go in the future when it comes to creating cards. And one essence is, can I be bothered doing 3 card combos to activate the God Summon or not? Maybe I might have to look at the bigger picture and try and think of an alternate route as to how to activate the God Summons. So I've not removed the object of God Summons yet. However, it is very much on the wall with that. What next? We have... what else was next? So, yeah, that was basically one of the biggest updates, what I wanted to bring it down to. So, the artwork, which I have got for 2.7, I've gone through every single piece. I can't make a video on it because there's just too much to go through, and the video, I tried to make the video and it was like 20 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it down into this one. So as you can see on screen here now, we have got commons, uncommons, rares and royals. This here is a Reyna/Ignaris collaboration, whether that is going to be something in the filler set, or it might be for a set ahead. That is something pretty cool to be thinking about. So in the commons, this is basically 50 of the pieces. I've gone through each and every individual piece of artwork and slightly amended the colour a little bit so they don't look as pale as what they were from like 8 or 9 years ago. So I've had to go through every single one of these and do a little bit of touch up with the colours. So these are all the commons. We've got Scrats at the top there. We've got some watchtowers, some location cards, potions, you know, got some pretty decent battle cards, a handful of Kryllisians. We've got the gemstones there, you've got the pearl, amethyst, ruby, sapphire, a couple of knight units, fire, action cards, a couple more scrats down at the bottom, and some pokey little units just down at the bottom there, and a handful of knights just to go into the filler set. So again, nothing too much going on with the commons. They basically fill the filler set. Where it starts getting interesting though is in the uncommons. So we've got slightly better artwork, or what I think we've got slightly better artwork in this one. So we've got the volcanoes from one of the first few sets. We've got this desert island type thing. That was a pretty good card back in the original game. More scrats, more Kryllisians. Got some pretty cool like landscape type cards. These were the old terrains. However, we don't have terrains in Cores 2, so I'm going to need to work out something to do with them. Got a rolling fire just there. Got a couple more terrains, or landscapes, or locations, should we say. They've come out really nice in the editing software. Dead Core. Dead Core is a core with 5 HP and no skill, so that's for those faster games. Got a couple more uncommon cards. You know, got a couple of like headless demons and, you know, a few more knight cards, a couple of the fairy type units. Mostly, however, it's these terrain cards or landscape cards, should we say. So some of these were rare cards back in the original game. Extinguish, Goldsmithing Goblin, for example. I think that was either a rare or an uncommon for the Goblin class. We've got a card here that looks like it could be some kind of breakout card, where you know, you've got all the baddies breaking out of the holding. Got this one. This one came out quite nice in the editing software. The colours on that look very vibrant. Obviously, all of these designs were done more than 6 years ago. So you may have noticed in the files on these, the commons and uncommons, there's 50 cards for each of those rarities. So we've got 50 commons, 50 uncommons, and then we've got 40 rares and then 10 royals. Now if we go into the rares folder, you may see down at the bottom here, it's only 35, which means I've got scope for 5 more rare units. Now I have started with the rare units in terms of creating actual cards. We've got so many to go through. We've got the mother of all scrats just there. That'll be quite good when my laptop decides to pick up the pace. I think that'll be quite an interesting card. We've got the ancient oak. That will be one of the trees, because there's a tree in every set, and they usually sit off to the side and do something pretty good. This elementary outburst, I want this to do something once you've got so many gemstones either in play or in your discard pile. Let me just find my charger for my laptop, because I'm getting low battery warnings. What else? We have got Sazanthe. Now Sazanthe was actually the wife to Neom, so it's quite nice to see Sazanthe and Ella, where I've just seen Ella just here. Young character, but she's usually a very cheap and supportive character. We've got the Obliterator Cannon. I've made the design for that one already. That's a beast, that one. It's a bit tricky to hit with, but I'm going to be bringing in cards which will help you roll higher die rolls during battle. I kind of want to make this one something to do with Iris, Iris being one of the Mage Sisters. That'd be pretty cool to see that. We also have this Mage unit. I can't remember if she made it into the game in Ravco's 1. I can't put my finger on it, but she's coming in. We've got this one, which I got a lot of reaction with it last time in the old game. A lot of people said it's quite creepy because of the eyes. Eyes of Hell, I think that one was called. That should make quite a interesting card. We've got two core. Well, I've got a handful of cores actually. This one used to be. Can't remember what that one was, but I did like it. I enjoyed the artwork on that one. And this one, like a volatile core, which could probably damage itself by looking at the design of it. Core of Fire. Judgment, this was an original classic. This basically just destroyed any unit in place, so that's going to be fun to create that card. We've got more location cards. This one, for some reason, I just love the design of this giant mountain in the background. I do enjoy that one. This one was an alternate art for Naya. This was the second design for Naya in Wrath of Colours 1. I actually quite like the design on that one, so she's going to be coming in. It might be its own card, but because I already have a design for Naya, let's just see what happens with that artwork in the long run. Towering Ghoul, I remember this one from the original game. You've got all like little buildings and stuff down at the bottom, and this thing just lurks over the top of them. And I've already designed the card for this one. This one is Clouds of Chaos, it's a weather card. What else we've got? Some more location cards just here. Don't quite know what to do with this one because we do have an underground tunnel type card, so it'd be interesting to see what I can come up with that one. Another core, maybe Core of Dead Souls or something like that. Another fairy type warrior unit. And then here's the official teaser of the release of the two remaining Mage Sisters. So we've got Naya and Sane who are left. This is brand new artwork for Naya. This is Naya the Grim Mage, which is one of the sisters or daughters of King Rhaenys. And then this is the new artwork for Sane as well. So that's pretty cool. And then I've already done their cards, and the X-Glares look absolutely amazing, I think, when the X-Glares have come through. This card never actually made it into the original game. Again, that could possibly be maybe a long-lost enemy of King Rhaenys, so there's that to look forward to as well. And then finally, moving on to the Royals. There's going to be 10 Royals at the moment, however I've only got 8, so I've got scope for some more. We've got the Behemoth. Now, in the original game, this was quite a beast, so this goes without a doubt that this monster is going to be coming back into Colours 2 as a royalty rare. This one was a terrain card which generated 2 elements instead of 1, at the cost of life, so I'm going to work out something to do with that. That might be a wonder. Crystal Golem, again, this was one of the go-to royalty rares back in the original game, so that's coming back. Iris, now this was designed originally by Scott from Illumicent, but I did the colours. So Iris with her ultimate weapon, that's going to be another Iris card. Anuka, God of Thunder, this was one of the God Summons, however, this was an action card off the original God Summon. So the original God Summon was in set 1, and then this action card was in one of the latest sets from the arse end of Wrath of Colours 1, so that will be a royalty. I think this was Dea, one of the fairy queens, if you like. This one was actually Rhaenys' wife before she turned into Alto, so that is interesting to see where we go with that. This one was, I think this was another rendition of King Rhaenys, just without as much armour on, so, and you actually get to see his head with his big massive greatsword on his back. And that's it. So, I don't think there's much more else to point to this because this video is already about 10 minutes long, so that was pretty much 95% of the artwork and designs for the upcoming 2.7 set. Like I said, I couldn't make a video of every single one because it just took so long and it would have been too much editing. So anyway, if there's anything, there's still space for a couple more rares and royalty rares, so if you think there's anything I've missed or there's some suggestions or ideas, just leave a comment down below and we can try and work into it if I think it's feasible enough. Or if you've got an idea for the God Summons, that would be even better. Anyway guys, thanks so much, I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.